We got streams to watch. Want awesome Pokemon experiences and fails live? Follow me with notifications on over on Twitch to join me and others on great Pokemon adventures. I also have a Pokemon Crystal randomized Nuzlocke over on Mystical Gaming going on. Links will be in the description below. Today, I'm going to be continuing with my new series, taking a dive into ranking the top 10 Pokemon of a certain typing. Last week we did Dragons, and you guys ended up choosing Dark-type as being the next one I rank. I put together this list taking a lot of things into account, and I feel we have a great mix of regular Pokemon, Mythicals, and Legendaries here that really help bring out the best of the Dark types. You guys already know I am a pretty big fan of this typing, so let's get right into things and see what the top 10 has in store. I can already feel the excitement as we start. Oh, that's why I'm excited. We're starting things off with the channel's namesake, my main man Umbreon. Umbreon is in a lot of ways a perfect representation of the Dark typing. It was introduced alongside the typing back in the 2nd generation, and it's got a look that just evokes the thought of darkness. There are quite a few Pokemon that act as defensive walls of the Dark typing, possibly most notably aside from Umbreon being Mega Sableye. While Mega Sableye does have some pretty good defenses, it isn't really able to do much else other than take hits. Umbreon, on the other hand, has better defenses, HP, and speed, making it really superior in a lot of ways. It's a master of toxic stalling, and for generations, it's been seen as one of the most annoying Pokemon to deal with in many different iterations of competitive play. I don't want to go on and on about how good Umbreon is so I don't seem too terribly biased, but just know that I of course love it an awful lot beyond just how great of a Dark type it is. Next up, we've got one of the best glass cannon Pokemon of the last few generations, the Sharp Claw Pokemon, Weavile. Weavile brings together a duo of typings that actually go together rather well in Dark and Ice types. You've got a lot of great coverage options with those two typings, but there are definitely issues that come from them being brought together. You're going to be in a lot of trouble when dealing with a Pokemon that may have Mach Punch, and to a lesser extent, Bullet Punch. If you can manage to avoid the priority punches though, you'll probably have an easy time outspeeding other Pokemon since Weavile has got a base 125 speed stat. It gets access to some great moves as well, like Ice Shard and a whole bunch of other moves on top of them that can be used to go to battle with Dragon and Psychic types, two of the most powerful Pokemon out there. Like I mentioned before, Weavile is a bit of a glass cannon with rather mediocre defenses and a typing that does unfortunately not lend itself to being great defensively. But that isn't too big of a deal since it's made to go out and outspeed and hit hard anyway. We move on now to a Pokemon I feel is rather slept on, and so much that it's even better than Umbreon and Weavile amongst several other Dark-type Pokemon. That Pokemon is Unova's Mandibuzz, a mainstay of some competitive teams since its first appearance a few generations back. Now, a first look at its stats may make it seem like it doesn't belong here. Its defenses aren't as good as Umbreon's, and it has no real attack to speak of. It doesn't have a very good speed stat either, but honestly, that doesn't matter too much with this one. Its defenses are just good enough to work in tandem with that HP stat, and provide it with the ability to check some incredibly strong and scary Pokemon, like Aegislash and Dragapult. It can easily heal itself with a move like Roost, and further disrupting moves like Defog and Taunt that can easily keep the rest of your team safe. Mandibuzz is a master at checking entry hazards and keeping Pokemon from setting up, and that's an important role that needs to be played on many competitive teams. It's slept on due to its poor attack stats, but trust me when I say it's one of the best Dark-type Pokemon out there. Next, we've got a fan favorite checking in here, the original emo Pokemon, Absol. When not jamming out to some Panic at the Disco, Absol could be found cruising around the Hoenn region, absolutely tearing through Pokemon with its 130 base attack. That is the definite highlight for Absol. It has got an absolutely awesome attack, but it unfortunately doesn't have other stats that really don't stack up as well. It's got 75 speed and special attack, but every other stat is below those, and that just isn't particularly great. However, there is something that really helps Absol out, and it's probably the reason why it finds itself ahead of the other Pokemon we've talked about. And obviously what I'm talking about is its ability to Mega Evolve. Mega Absol is really great with 150 base attack and 115 speed, which combine to make Absol into one of the strongest and speediest physical attackers of the entire typing. There are some tremendous moves in Absol's pool as well, like Play Rough, Night Slash, and Sucker Punch. There's a ton of different special moves too, and since its special attack is at 115, with Calm Mind being an option to set up, you could potentially run a special Absol as well, and give it some better defense. Mega Absol is really good as an attacker, and the access it has to a move like Play Rough really helps it tear through Dark types and threatening fighting types, which otherwise prevent it from being able to possibly swoop an opponent. Speaking of popular dark types, let us move on to the original powerful dark type, the armor Pokemon Tyranitar. Tyranitar is a symbol for physical attacking greatness, with 134 base attack and defenses both over 100. It's got all the bulk and great attack stats, only really suffering from a poor 61 base speed. It's got some absolutely tremendous moves like Stone Edge, Crunch, Earthquake, and so many others that just turn it into this scary powerful monster out in battle. It's also got the ability Sandstream, which will create a sandstorm upon switch in, and that's a pretty fantastic ability for Tyranitar specifically, since it gets a 50% boost to its special defense stat due to its rock typing whenever a sandstorm is up. Tyranitar isn't just the powerful Pokemon at its base though, as it will get even stronger when it Mega Evolves. As a Mega, its attack balloons up to a staggering 164 base, and its defenses have improved further to 150 physical and 120 special. It's going to take hits from everything but fighting types really well, and it'll be dishing out so much damage. Most opponents just won't know what to do about it. It's really a good Pokemon whether you choose to Mega Evolve it or not. And in a similar vein as Garchomp, it's been a good Pokemon turn to for its powerful moves for generations, and will continue to be for as long as it remains available. Well, we've made it halfway through these rankings, and somehow managed to avoid any Pokemon from Sword and Shield, but that's about to change. It's time we talk about Grimmsnarl, the only Pokemon so far to be both Dark and Fairy typing. This is a duo of good typings coming together to help create a very good attacker that also has the privilege of being on a short list of Pokemon that can Gigantamax. The great thing with Grimmsnarl is how much it makes use of its stab typings. It has some fantastic moves in its pull on both ends, for instance having Spirit Break and Play Rough, which are the only physical Fairy type moves it can get its hand on, but are also two of the absolute best. Then for Dark type moves, it has a lot of the usual ones you see like Foul Play and Sucker Punch. There are a bunch of other coverage moves it can learn on both the physical and special side of things, for several typings like Fighting, Electric, Ice, Fire, and more. Grimmsnarl is just so good with that 120 attack stat and ability to Gigantamax, and get a massive amount of HP, as well as access to the signature move, G-Max Snooze. It could have possibly been higher if it just had some more defenses and a bit higher speed, but opening up the top half of this list definitely is fitting for Sword and Shield's best Dark type. It's sort of crazy to think we've made it all the way to the 4th spot in this ranking without a mythical or legendary, but don't you worry, because you're about to get one. Hoopa Unbound is the alternate form of Hoopa that you can obtain by using the Prison Bottle to transform it. Sort of like how Ultra Necrozma made the Dragon type top 10, Hoopa Unbound makes this one by virtue of being a different form of a Pokemon that almost counts on its own as something different. Hoopa Unbound is an incredibly strong Pokemon with 160 physical attack, 170 special attack, and 130 in special defense. Its regular defenses leave a lot to be desired, and it isn't exactly the picture of bulk with only 80 base HP. Its biggest detractor is definitely the 80 base speed though, causing it to lag behind some of the faster Pokemon out there. However, even with some of the bigger issues, you cannot deny its extremely high attack stats and fantastic typing. It is weak to Fairy type and does suffer from a 4x weakness to Bug types, but considering the fact that Bug type moves aren't all that common on very strong Pokemon, it is sort of like a worry that isn't always present. The opportunity for Hoopa to just come out and call upon Hyperscale Fury in battle is too good of one to pass up, and that signature move along with Hyperspace Hole and other great moves in its pull just prove even further that it's a ridiculously powerful Pokemon that can lay waste to an opponent if you're able to just look past the less than ideal speed and HP. Let's keep it in Kalos for the next spot, and this time move on to a legendary. The Pokemon adorning the box art of Pokemon Y, Yveltal. Yveltal is one of the best dark types ever, and it's most certainly the best flying dark type out there. It's got incredible bulk with 126 base HP, and a duo of defenses just below 100. Though even more impressive is its attack stats, which both hit 131. It's pretty awesome to see a legendary have a lot of its stats either over 100 or extremely close to them, and Yveltal makes great usage of that bulk in attack. Much like with Xerneas' Fairy Aura, Yveltal has Dark Aura, for an ability which makes its dark type moves 1.3 times stronger, thus enabling it to be an even stronger Pokemon. Its signature move, Oblivion Wing, is a very good base 80 power move that'll give Yveltal back 75% of the damage done to the opponent as HP, working as an even better version of Roost that'll hurt the opponent while healing. It's got the usual artillery of dark type moves like Dark Pulse, Foul Play, and Sucker Punch, while also having some great flying type moves like Hurricane and Air Slash. There are so many different things that can be done with the Yveltal, and it's forever a sweeping threat due to Oblivion Wing and its fantastic bulk. It just seems like Kalos really is loaded with good dark type Pokemon. And to think Yveltal isn't even the best from the 6th generation. No, instead that would have to belong to the best of the Cala starters, the beloved Greninja. This past week saw the release of the Isle of Armor DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and with that we finally got the hidden abilities for the starters in Gen 8, one of these being Libero for the Cinderace line. Libero will change Cinderace's typing to whatever move it uses in battle, and while that's a pretty impressive ability, Greninja was the original starter to have an ability like that with Protean. That's honestly a massive reason why Greninja is up so high on this ranking. Greninja starts as a Dark-type Pokemon, and without Protean as an ability, stays as one. But the fact that it can be any typing it wants to be is a massive deal for any Pokemon. You're suddenly turning any move you use into a stab one, thus giving you access to stronger moves than the rest of the field. Greninja has 103 special attack and 95 attack, both being very solid and clear proof that you could run Greninja any way you really want to. And with that 122 base speed, you can assume you're going to add speed plenty of Pokemon. Greninja's move pool is massive and filled with moves from almost every different typing, opening it up to be the ultimate Swiss Army knife of coverage. It's more than deserving of being at the top of this list, but there is just one more Pokemon that represents the Dark type better. What would be a better Pokemon to rank as the strongest Dark type than one that has Dark in its name? Darkrai is, in my opinion, the strongest of the Dark typing. It's one of the best special attackers in its typing, and it's built to be the sort of Pokemon that's a true nightmare. Its signature move is Dark Void, a 50% accuracy move that will immediately put the opposing Pokemon to sleep. That can be used to get the opponent to sleep, though Hypnosis is a smarter move to go for since it has 10% more accuracy. When a Pokemon is finally asleep against Darkrai, it'll end up falling victim to the Mythical's ability, Bad Dreams, which causes a Pokemon to lose 1/8 of their HP at the end of each turn it's asleep for. A Darkrai with Hypnosis and Dream Eater is well set up to absolutely ruin a Pokemon. However, a lot of the time, you'd have to worry about something like Sleep Claws, so you can't rely on putting a whole team to sleep and causing them to have bad dreams. But have no fear, because Darkrai's 135 special attack and base 125 speed will come together to provide you with a Pokemon full of surprises in terms of attacks. This Dark Titan can launch anything from Dark Pulse and Focus Blast to Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. On top of all this, in Generation 7, Darkrai had access to Palkia's signature move, Spatial Rend. All these incredible special moves can also be enhanced by either Calm Mind or Nasty Plot. This isn't the end though, as Darkrai is also capable of being a fantastic utility Pokemon thanks to its speed stat. It's got access to moves like Substitute, Disable, Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, and even Taunt. Darkrai is capable of being a nuisance with a sleep gimmick, a big pain of status elements, and possesses some fantastic offensive prowess. With all these great qualities in mind, these are what truly make Darkrai a true Dark God. Well, that's gonna do it for this top 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. I want to know what you guys think though. So let me know down in the comments what you think the top 10 strongest Dark types are. Don't forget to let me know which typing you'd like to see covered next, because whichever suggestion is the most popular, I'll cover next time. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream all sorts of games from Pokemon to Fire Emblem to Zelda and much more. I also have an anime channel called MysticSage where I do anime reviews, rankings, and countdowns, so if you're interested in that kind of content, go ahead and check that out as well. If you want to support me even further and gain cool perks, check out my Patreon. These lovely people have all given me their support over there and I couldn't be more grateful to them. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.